And we are live! Stephen Howson and Adam Mckola. This is Stretford, Paddock, and Jadon Sancho has been officially confirmed by United. Is that the last time we have to make a video about it now?
Now, should we do one when we unveil him as well? Just to like get every last bit out of it. Yeah. We still have to keep going.
Juice, baby. Hey,
yeah.
I kind of echo a little bit of what Gary Neville was saying. Is like, I'm less excited about this transfer because United have dragged the living piss out of this. But before we get properly into that, I just want to say this is brought to you by the absolute legendinos at Manscaped. And we will be talking about Manscaped and how you can look after your bush a little bit later on. So don't fret about that. We will be covering that. And obviously you get free shipping and 20% off. You know the dance by now. And if you don't, well, you're about to be educated on how to dance. Jadon Sanchez then. You see the lady on Sky last night said Jadon Sanchez and then shit it. And went,
Defo be watching you lot. Defo be watching you enjoy that. Yeah. 100% be watching you lot. I know what you just said about Gary Neville, and I feel that, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, forget it. We've got Jadon Sancho at Manchester United.
The problem
and
is
that
it's
is
not
reason
enough.
to be excited. It's not enough. But for today,
remember Dude, Where's My Car? Right, I'm going to take it off-road here. Remember the film Dude, Where's My Car, which is one of the greatest Oscar-winning films of all time, I think. It might not win an Oscar, but it should have done. And they go to the takeaway place, and she's going, and then, right?
Yeah,
that's it. Sancho, and then. No, and then. No, and then. Like, that's what we need. And Gary Neville nailed it. It's like, I don't care about Sancho so much now because it's dragged on so long. I want to know what's next.
I disagree. Yes, I want to know what's next. Yes, I want Manchester United to carry on and have a good summer. But the mere fact that we've got this done by the 1st of July, Jadon Sancho is our player. And even like, I don't normally care how much it costs. I expected it to be a club record. It's 73, 77 million, depending on who you believe. Like, it's a bargain. This kid is a bargain. And I was looking at a stat that I think you boys posted yesterday, Vibe with 5 lads. Like, his goals and assists are a joke. 20 assists in 3 consecutive seasons.
Hey, wait.
Double figures in goals.
Mushy face to the side of the screen. You ready?
Yes.
Anyway.
I didn't realise what we were doing then. I didn't realise what we were doing.
So, Sancho's finally arrived. I've had quite a few tweets from people saying, I remember you talking about him when he was 17 at City and saying he was scary. What is actually scary is he was scary. But the numbers that he put up coming through the academy, same age as what Mason Greenwood was coming through the academy, his numbers weren't even as good as what Mason's was. Now, no different position, kind of. But even like the assists were kind of freaky that Greenwood was putting up. What excites me about this transfer, and this isn't anything for those people who just don't understand setting a scene, this isn't trying to compare Greenwood and Sancho. This is me saying, like, look at the talent level that we've kind of got. Rashford, Greenwood, and Sancho as a possible combination forward three with even some of the other players that we've got. Oh, that's hot.
You look at the age of those 3 in particular as well. It's like they can be together for an awfully long time.
I love as well. They can.
Awfully long time.
I love that Jason grew up in Manchester, Mr. Sanchez, right? I love that Jason grew up in Manchester, come of age in Manchester, if you like, knows everything about what football and that is in this city, and still was like, yeah, that's where I want to go. Because it's not been United was the only team in for him. He's been keen on coming to United for a couple of years. Almost since his first year in Dortmund, it's been rumoured that he was coming back. And obviously now he actually has come back.
The Athletic, I think, wrote in one of their stories today that he asked Marcus Rashford to get Ed to pay the money last summer. Like, he was that keen to get it done. I can hear myself back, by the way. I don't know if everyone else can at home, but hopefully you can sort that. We've got some super chats here. Shriram Bala says, I'm just glad we have got a transfer over the line, but who's this Jadon Sancho lad? Was looking forward to the possibility of signing Jadon Sanchez. And
it's still not funny, by the way. If you're saying it isn't, then you can fuck off.
Derek Best says, I got way more excited seeing how excited Marcus is. Can't wait for their first link-up goal. Someone made a video on Twitter of their two, like, different clips and stuff like that. And I just thought, having them both out there now, like, oh, God. Because we've been a team that plays down the left-hand side, innit? Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford, Paul Pogba linking up together. Now we've got something that we could hopefully build down the right-hand side with Aaron Wan-Bissaka being Jadon Sancho's bodyguard.
I can't wait. Conway, Con1WS in the comments there. When can we expect Jadon Sanchez down at a Paddock game to support his old pals? Well, I spoke to one of his old pals last night and said, right, are we having this or what? And he was like, I'm not even going to say it's likely. I said, it's like probably. It's just a case of when his schedule lines up with ours. So maybe there's a reason to come and watch Paddock.
When he gets into the city, I mean, you see Raval going to games. You see,
he ain't gonna hide.
And all these, like,
he's not gonna hide when he gets in Manchester at all.
Nah, he's gonna be out here. You see him go back to London every summer and just going to visit his old mates and that. He's out here. Luke H says I should be buzzing, but I'm just like meh because we drew it out. But if we sign Varane, the pants will be coming all the way off up the Paddock. Now we've heard a few tweets and rumours today that Varane is looking likelier than it was, although United are cautious about the prospect of that. Is Varane the one you want at centre-half?
I think so, yeah. When I look at... Physically, he's impressive and he's an imposing person. I think the pace on the guy blends in very well. Like, I think he's someone that can give Maguire advice on the pitch. I think Maguire's kind of been thrust into this leadership sort of role at United. He's had to do a lot of looking after Luke Shaw. He's had to do a lot of looking after different players, and that's managing his own transition to playing for Manchester United and then getting the captain's armband. And then what's gone on in Greece? There's all of these things that have happened with Harry Maguire. And his performances have dipped at times, but he's been largely consistent. Now, I wonder if he gets someone that he can really trust. Not just can he trust them, but they've got more experience than him. And they've won more things than him. And they can put an hand on his back and say, you're doing all right, pal. Keep going. You got this. And I think someone like Varane has got that. And I think if you re-sign Pogba, you get Varane. There's obviously talk of Camavinga's turns everybody on, I think. And I think he's probably good for that in a roundabout way. If you did get Camavinga and he's got Varane behind him, Pogba to the side of him, two brilliant professionals to be learning your trade off at Manchester United, that would be. And I'd love Varane for a number of different reasons, but mentorship being a massive, massive one.
There's been a few criticisms of some of his performances in the Euros, but I thought there were also times where he bailed France out and he looked rather good. And I think it's hard to judge players off that France team because they were all obviously batshit crazy. Let me have a look at some of these super chats. Kia says Adam mentioned his Star City yesterday while talking about Sancho. I'd love to see it. Maya Man says, what club did Sancho support as a child? As he grew up in Manchester, but was he a blue or red? He grew up in London, didn't he?
He came from Watford at 15, I think.
He's a Chelsea fan, right?
I think he's a Chelsea fan, yeah. I think he's a Chelsea fan, but like I saw him. Oh shit! I think it was when United played Southampton in the under-18s at Old Trafford. He sat in front of me in the crowd watching Angel, I assume. I went, "What are you fucking doing here?" He just giggled. But I've seen him at United games, mostly youth games, which makes me think that he's got mates.
Mates in it.
Yeah, he's got mates in the team and things like that. But I'm gonna make Ronaldo pull out a video that he's got of him. I think it's at Park Life at Manchester with Sancho. They both look like they're having a very good time, shall we say?
I bet they did. Aditya says, I reckon with Sancho, we'll see more of AWB's attacking side. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, because at the moment, whoever we play on the right-hand side, they drift inside. And when they drift inside, they leave Wan-Bissaka as the main threat that's out there. And you can leave any defender 1v1 with Wan-Bissaka and probably be all right. You might be a bit daft if you leave somebody 1v1 with Sancho, which means that you're going to have to drag people over, which means that if Sancho makes a run, he could drag both the defenders out of the way, or the midfielder and the defender out of the way, leaving Wan-Bissaka in a bit more space. And I think because he's got someone who's a major threat with him, you're almost wanting him to play it back to Wan-Bissaka so you don't have to try and tackle Sancho. And I think those are the times when you see a lot of people go, oh, look at how Pogba plays for France. Yeah, he's got Varane and Kante behind him, and he's got Mbappe making runs ahead of him. He's covered in every direction with top-class talent. Now, Wan-Bissaka on the right, on his own, with two defenders going, you're going to fall over if you try and dribble. Or whatever they start chatting shit to him. It's going to be a lot harder for him. And that's why you want to fill your team with options and with threats. And he's more than a threat. His assist record, 20 assists every season for the last 3 seasons, is some fucking next level of consistency. Which fucking widge was it on one of the pundits? Might have been Souness, it might have been one of the other shit ones. Because he had a slow start to the season. He had like a couple of weeks, didn't he, at the start of the season where he was a bit off. They just decided he had a shit season. He still nearly had a goal a game.
I think Gareth Southgate mentioned it. I think his head went because the transfer didn't go through. It's like when you were talking about Wan-Bissaka, then I was thinking about Gary Neville. Like, do you remember when everyone down Beckham's side, you used to find Gary Neville just in acres of space on the edge of the box?
Yeah, because they're marking Beckham.
Able to spam crosses into the back post. And it's like, that's what Wan-Bissaka will find himself doing, just sitting there, being able to spam crosses in.
Yeah, in acres of space. And Gary Neville's career, if you watch it, he was massively negatively impacted by the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo, because Cristiano Ronaldo didn't work the same way Beckham worked. Beckham's work rate was almost unmatched. And he used to double up with Gary Neville down that right-hand side. Now, Ronaldo needed a lot of taming, and he needed a lot to learn, and he came in very young. And this coincided with Gary Neville's career struggling with injuries and actually coming to the back stages of his career. But Gary Neville looked really bad alongside Cristiano Ronaldo, where Beckham protected him or worked with him a lot better than Ronaldo did. Who you're playing with, from Wan-Bissaka to Sancho, who you're playing with can have a massive impact on how you look as a footballer. I mean, look at Luke Shaw looked like when he had Memphis in front of him versus when he had somebody else in front of him.
Relationships. Abdullah Ibrahim says, do you think this transfer was done in this time around because there has been a change in structure at the club, or because of fewer complications?
I think the players probably, if he saw his arse about it not going through last year, he probably had a conversation where it was, I'm going this year. And Dortmund set the price, and United actually acted early rather than getting all the way until like the lads are arriving for pre-season and then pick a phone up. Like, that's what it feels like United do sometimes. It's like the transfer window opening doesn't mean that's the only time you can start business. It's not a shop. Like, you can agree all these things in principle and announce them as soon as the window opens. Yeah.
Definitely. Someone else mentioned, I've missed the comment now, but they mentioned there were reports in Germany of him having a bad attitude and stuff. Are you concerned about anything like that?
No. I think he might be a loose cannon.
Lloyd Taylor, who said it?
You what?
Lloyd Taylor, who said it. I found the comment.
I think there might be a bit of a loose cannon about him, and I don't mind that. I think there's a bit of an edge to him. Joe else was a loose cannon. Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney was getting drunk and getting knocked the fuck out in his kitchen. That's like not what you want your players to be doing if you're being honest with yourself. But sometimes players being a bit naughty, having a bit of character, gives them a bit of an edge. Now, if you've got 11 of them in your team, you've got a fucking absolute widge of a team. But if you've got one of them in your team and he's a maverick and he's the guy that's tasked with doing maverick shit, like Marcus is dedicated to his craft. Sounds like Bruno's dedicated to his craft. Family men, the pair of them. But you occasionally want a wild man in your team. Cantona was a fucking wild man. Cantona would sit there and go on the piss for a couple of days with the likes of Mark Hughes and Bruce and all of them guys in the middle of the week. But no one really cared because he was a fucking maverick on the pitch. Jack Grealish is a bit of a wide boy. Like,
that's not to say though. I know you're not saying that, but that's not to say they don't work hard at their craft.
no, I'm
I'm
certain he puts the work in on the training ground, and I'm certain he's dedicated. I'm just also thinking that he fucking lets it go the other end. You know, if he's fucking scoring at 3 p.m., he's fucking scoring at 10 p.m. Don't you worry about that. Like, he's fucking putting balls in all over the show. So, and Ryan Giggs didn't have much of an edge to him on the pitch, it seemed. Had a bit of a fucking edge to him off the pitch. Like,
not a good one either.
Well, if the latest allegations are true, then not a good one. But, like, you know, all right, apart from being a fucking serial adulterer, like, he had an edge. He was a wide boy. He was a bit of a fucking maverick. Sometimes you need those characters. You can't all be fucking Michael Owen who've never read a book or watched a fucking film. You have to have a bit of fucking character about you. And that's what, those characters are what's make us love football. No one ever fucking grows up wanting to go to bed at 9 p.m. Everyone wants to George Best it right off into the fucking cliff. And if that's what Sancho's a little bit like, if he performs on the pitch, do what you fucking want.
Yeah, and I also, while I don't disagree with particularly like the theory of what you're saying, I actually don't think there's much evidence to suggest Sancho is like that either. Like, I think maybe
the only evidence
missed
is
a few
like
training sessions about like if he's been late when he wants to force the move or something like that. But I don't think there's particularly been that many bad stories about him. Do you know what I mean? So I don't see any issues with him.
No, I'm not saying there is. I'm not saying there's loads of stories. Not saying that there's anything about him missing training or anything like that. I'm saying I think he's got character. I think he's got an edge, and I think he could be that maverick kind of character. Here's what I know. I know he's not fucking beige and boring. I know that. So
that's probably why Gareth Southgate don't pick him.
I think that's I honestly think that's exactly why Gareth Southgate is not having him. I also think that's probably a little bit of why Pep wasn't having him. Because Pep can't fucking deal with sauce. You got rid of fucking Zlatan. Zlatan was too much fucking sauce. Deco was too much sauce. Anyone who's ever had a fucking couple of mates is too much fucking sauce for him. So, yeah. That's why I'd be surprised if Grealish does go to City and succeed under Pep.
They did want Sancho to stay at City, though. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, but actions and words, mate. If you wanted him to stay, you'd have played him.
Yeah, but we saw with Foden that wasn't particularly the case. Even if Pep does respect the player, he's not necessarily going to chuck him straight in at the deep end, which is his prerogative. He's won trophies, he can do what he wants. Anyway, this video is sponsored by Manscaped, as we said earlier, and the Euros are all about bragging rights and showing pride for your country's squad. And with the help of Manscaped, you can show some pride in your squad. Yes. Manscaped, obviously you can trim up your personal pitch. This is what we've got written in front of us. It's amazing. Let me try and read this with a straight face. You can now trim up your personal pitch without the fear of whacking your bollocks. That's what Manscaped sent us. Can you finish this off?
It says, unlock the confidence and join the movement with this exclusive offer. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with Paddock 20. I think it's all caps. Try it in all caps at manscaped.com. Right. I went to the barber's today and forgot to do my mustache. I'm actually going to be using my Manscaped to do my face bush. Luckily, I've got two. I've got one here that I haven't used one that's here. I've got the one at home to do my fucking chat with. Anyway, Manscaped is changing the way men use and approach grooming with their Performance Package 3.0. The bundle includes a Lawnmower 3.0, the Weed Whacker, Performance Boxer Briefs, and a travel kit and formulations to help you upgrade your grooming game. Lawnmower 3.0 apparently is the Harry Maguire of dong defense.
What?
What a line. The Harry Maguire of dong defense.
Oh, he actually says that?
Because it's the third generation trimmer and it's got a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to advanced skin safe, and they've trademarked that technology, and it's not even waterproof, and it's an LED light so you can do it in the shower or in the dark.
Here's a great line. It's time you add a few inches to your Harry Kane with Manscaped. Paddock 20 at manscaped.com to get 20% off and free shipping. Thanks to the guys for supporting the channel.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
Paddock20 at manscaped.com. That's Paddock20 at manscaped.com. That's Paddock20 at manscaped.com.
We still haven't got our code DoomyGooch, which I'm disappointed about. What can you do? You can't get everything that you want in life.
But you can get 20% off and free shipping with Paddock20 at manscaped.com.
You can indeed.
And we will get them to put DoomyGooch.
Yeah, we need that. I think that's for the new season, if they still want to sponsor us at that point. So let's have a look. Yeah, we're hearing about Varane and all that kind of stuff. What about Camavinga? Because I feel, that Pogba's leaving now. My opinions on this go back and forth a lot, and it's gut feeling. But I got a feeling we're preparing for him to leave.
Well, when it all came out in December, and Raiola was like, anyway, fuck this place, we're off. Remember that? Absolute carnage. Ollie's man management in this is black belt level. Because under Jose, that is a bonfire that never goes out until the end of the season. And it's in every press conference. It's in all the papers. Ollie kind of just went and shut that shit down in a day. Now, they obviously had a meeting. And I guess the content of that meeting has never really come to the light. We don't know what was said. We don't know what that conversation was. And we don't know if it was, all right, shut your fucking moaning. You can go at the end of the season. We don't know if it was, right, shut your fucking moaning. Give us 18 months of work and we'll go for free. We don't know if it was, we'll make you the highest paid player in the Premier League. It was one of them things, for sure. But whatever it was, Raiola and Pogba were happy with whatever Ollie said or the club said in that moment, because Raiola's an absolute fucking widge, but he gets what his clients want. And he's a nightmare from a club perspective, but if he's your fucking agent, you're chilling, because he will get you whatever you want. And if you're happy and want to stay, he'll do that. If you want to kick up a fuss, well, he'll fucking do that as well, as Donnarumma's found out. Donnarumma, in the end, didn't even want to leave Milan. And they was like, well, you're fucking going now because he fucked about. I wonder what's happening with him. I guess we're going to find out. If he's still here at the end of the summer and he hasn't signed a new contract, well, that was what was fucking happening. He's been told you can go for a free after this 18 months. I bet United would like to cash in on him. I bet they would like to keep him, but there's only 3 options here.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him stay, but maybe there could have been a conversation where he's gone, show me your ambition in the summer. Right. If you want me to stay, show me your ambition. Well,
and then if he let's say it was Sancho, Camavinga, Varane, because that's a 3 I think we'd all enjoy. Not that we're likely to get him, it's one that we'd like. Let's say he pulled those 3 off and said, right, there's the contract. Are you signing the thing? I think that could be the way it rolls.
Be good, innit? I hope he stays, but I'm feeling less confident than I was a month ago.
I have no idea. I think it's those 3 are the options. I mean, obviously, if he signs a new deal, well, that's what's happening. But if he doesn't sign a new deal
now, though, when we've built, we got this, look at the team we're building at the moment, man. It's actually a good team. Whether Ollie is a success long term or not, he has left us he will leave us in such a good position with the team he's building. Like it's a joke. Like Sancho, Greenwood, Rashford. Like at the start of the season, it's interesting because this is obviously a big. We got Cavani who's going to be out for the start of the campaign because of the Copa America. Rashford's probably going to have his up. So we're looking at a front 3 of potentially Greenwood, Marshall, and Sancho. It's like, you think then, let's say Rashford comes back and Marshall hasn't, see him possibly leave before the window closes if he becomes 2nd or 3rd choice. And then you're in the market again. But it's a big opportunity for him to actually get a couple of goals under his belt, create that relationship with Sancho and Greenwood, and stake a place for a claim for a place again. I reckon Sancho and Marshall have a good relationship, falling out.
They might, but he might be gone before the season starts.
I don't know. It's because you have to buy a striker, innit? So I think Ollie would go, keep him, I'll get Haaland next year and sell him.
Not if Greenwood's got to be down the middle.
But then if Greenwood's down the middle and Cavani gets injured, or Greenwood gets injured, you're fucked, innit?
Well, you can still use Rashford there, so you still have options. Admittedly, it's not an ideal situation, but if it's money driven, you got to remember how much Tony's on a week. That plays into people's minds, and that's a factor with stuff. I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked to see him stay because of where does he go. There's some talk. I think someone mentioned this the other day. I believe. I hope I'm not breaking any fucking rules for saying this. Apologies if I am. There's some talk that there's Spurs on loan is an option potentially for Tony.
United don't facilitate a move for Kane to City by helping out Spurs. That is something you just don't do. Yeah, if anything, it's abroad. I can't see it going to Spurs because you're basically saying, here Spurs, send Kane to City, and that's bad business. It's super bad business.
You might have no fucking option.
Especially if Spurs got the money, but I doubt it. Do you think the addition of Sancho and potentially Varane would put more pressure on Oli should we start like we did last year, says Pam John? Yes?
I don't know. Yeah, there's pressure regardless. Like, let's say every team just plays to their ability this year, right? Forget what managers do, because they're largely less impactful than people want to think they are. If the teams play to their ability, City win the league and Chelsea come second, yes or no? Without some injuries and fucking this, that, and the other.
Let's say Sancho was our only signing, probably.
Right. So if United come third, what's everyone going to say?
But we're likely to not just sign Sancho, right?
Okay, but if we came third after only signing Sancho, everyone's going to say United have gone backwards, aren't they? That's what they're going to say. But
it depends how the season plays out, doesn't it?
It does.
You see Chelsea and City get 90 points and you get 85 and you're third. I don't know if that mathematically is possible, but let's say that happened. Like, then it's not that bad, is it? It don't look that bad, innit? But
no,
if it's 20 points off, if it's 20 points off, then so it depends on the context of the season and how the season's gone, where you end up in the cups, if you win a trophy or not. I think silverware is important.
Glenn says we've gone backwards, of course, but no, that not necessarily. We might play better football. We might have been more consistent.
Yeah. Juan Martinez, says swap Pogba for Ronaldo. This is proper football manager stuff, yeah. Sal Marshall, Lingard and Fred, and buy Camavinga and Saul or Neves. Neves is an interesting one. Sounds like it could be going to Arsenal.
I'd be gutted, to be honest. I think he's a real player that could make a bit of a difference at United. And for the money being talked about, why wouldn't you get him?
I don't know. Is he what we need?
He's not what we need. He's a more progressive midfielder. I think he's better than
Fred McTominay, but is he what we need?
Hypothetically, who knows? Yes, no. Don't know.
That's what I think. We need a defender that's a 6, isn't it? I just feel we're not going to get it. We're going to get
first choice, world class starters, because that's what you need.
But if you get Sancho and Varane, you can probably take getting a younger option like a Camavinga in it.
Possibly, yeah, because you can take a punt on Camavinga, because even if he fails and he's here 3 years, he's only 21 and you could probably still get your money back. Like, you probably still be able to move him on. You're not going to lose money on him, I wouldn't have thought. So I'd take the gamble, or you might end up with an 18-year-old enigma who's absolutely fucking belting. It could go either way, but I don't think you'll lose money on him.
Isaac says, what's going on with Mata? Sounds like he's going to sign a new deal. Do you think that's to make him a coach and stuff rather than a player?
Yeah, I don't think he'll play a lot. There's a lot of talk that he's put some serious roots down around Manchester, and there's a lot of experience just gone. I don't think there'll be I don't think it'd be hurting too much to stick around. It'd be good if he did start helping coach, though, for sure.
The Truth Seeker has commented this about 100 times, so I feel obliged to ask.
Well, he is seeking the truth, to be fair to him.
He says, "Is that?" Or she says, "Is that an actual photo in the thumbnail or a Photoshop?" It's a Photoshop. Did that need to be? Yeah, it's a Photoshop. Who made it? Was it you? Was it Cam? I think it was Cam. K Ben says, "Do you think Sancho will be better than other Dortmund players we signed in the past? They were all at They were all at their best in the German league." As I think what he meant there. Who was the last couple? Kagawa, Mkhitaryan. Is that it?
Is that it? I think that might be it.
What do you think?
Well, people just want to always draw conclusions. Look at the last Brazilian we signed. Look at the last English player we signed. Look at the last Dortmund player we signed. Who's the last player we signed from Oldham Athletic? I think it's Dennis Irwin, right? But would you sign someone from fucking Oldham Athletic now? Dennis Irwin give you an 8 out of 10 for a decade.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean that every player that you sign from Oldham Athletic is Dennis Irwin. It doesn't mean every player that you sign from Dortmund's not going to work in England. How many of them were absolute enigmas that should have been getting minutes for Manchester City but couldn't because the manager won't play youngsters and was forced to go and get a move abroad? One.
Alexis Sanchez wasn't Van Persie.
Yeah. Weren't they the same age when we signed them? Same age, both scored a similar number of goals in the last 2 seasons. Wasn't the same.
One stank the joint out.
So you can't go, oh well, in that case, let's never sign anyone. I mean, trying to think. We've signed some flops from like. I'm not signing fucking. You sign Rio from Leeds. Does that mean you're not going to sign Alan Smith from Leeds, or you are going to sign Alan Smith from Leeds, or the last time you signed someone it was Alan Smith? Does that mean that you shouldn't have signed Rio? Like, just treat everyone on the fucking merit of what they are.
These are a decent feeder club. Cantona.
Yeah, Nani wasn't Ronaldo as much as he thought he was.
Oh, he was fucking good though, Nani.
Do you know what? He used to frustrate the fuck out of me with hindsight. He moonwalks and backflips into the fucking squad now, doesn't he? Jesus.
Well, not now. We got Sancho, but he would have, before Sancho. Natraj says there are reports about United wanting to swap Bailly plus cash for Pau Torres. If we do that, should you still go for Varane? I think the answer probably no. But
we're not City, mate. We're not getting fucking Christmas and birthday in one.
RB says, do you think it's possible if Pogba leaves United get Grealish? I think that ship sailed, unfortunately.
I don't think so. You got to remember, we're dealing with the Glazers here. You've got an absolute fucking tapping of a signing there, potentially in Camavinga. And you've got a bit of a tap-in potentially. The Varane one's interesting because the money... turn the lights out. It's just got cloudy here. Hang on. There we go. Bit lighter now. The money for Varane's an absolute piss take. It's almost half of what we paid for Harry Maguire. But it's not a case of can we afford him? I don't think it's a case of does he want to come to United? And that's a question I don't know the answer to.
Yeah, are we being pissed about? That's the question there. Right, if you had to predict the rest of United's summer, who are we signing? Go.
I would be equally as shocked to see us sign Varane, which is quite shocked, like a 7 out of 10. Not a 10 out of 10 shocker. I would be equally surprised if we signed Varane as if we signed no one.
So I think we sign Varane and then we mess about for ages looking for a midfielder and we eventually get one for a big price like Declan Rice is saying. when we could have got Camavinga.
Not a pred are we getting. If we spent 80 on Sancho, mate, we're fucking seeing if we can get an extra fucking credit limit on our credit card. Like, we ain't got that sort of fucking.
But apparently it's 5 installments, equal installments.
Mate, we got a fucking loan out 2 months ago to pay the bills.
True. Leon says the next signing we need is Van der Sar as CEO. Gian says Marshall FC alive and kicking this year. We are still alive and kicking. Just Billy Brandwood. Billy Brandwood and Brooke have put in some super chats, but there's nothing on there. And to everybody else that joined us today, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for getting your comments in. Oliver, Con, Liam, Ricardo, to everyone that got their super chats in. Thank you.
And thank you to Manscaped for keeping your balls absolutely fresh and clean. Glistening! Absolutely glistening! Especially in this heat.
Paddock 20%
Paddock 20, free shipping.
Manscaped.
Worldwide.
Like Pitbull.
Right in a bit.